All right, I'd like to officially call the meeting to order. Thank you all so much for being here. I think we're waiting on a few more people, but we'll go ahead and get started since we do have quorum. So, item number 2 on the agenda.
She has to do this.
Oh, yeah. It works. Nope. Yeah. There you go. Okay, item number 2 on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the December 5th, 2017 School Bond Advisory Board special meeting. And those were included in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? You can. Motion passes. Item number 3 on the agenda, the Independent School District, number 89, 2007 and 2016 school bond issue financial information.
You have in your packet the information for the 2007 bond issue and the 2016 school bond issue. I'll try to answer any questions, but if I can't answer them, we have members from here.
Jean Bostwick, CFO with the district.
Right. That will be able to answer any questions.
Quick question. This was what we had asked for at the last board meeting, right, to kind of talk through what were the remaining projects that were still outstanding from the 2007 bond and what we were carrying forward to this advisory committee. Is that correct? Okay.
Correct. Reggie, I think, requested that.
Yes. So I just have a quick question. On page 1 of 6, where it has a list of the bond issues out to the left, that's all from the 2007 bond issue?
Yes, 2007.
Okay. And that is just the year that it was completed?
Or year that the proceeds were sold. That's the year of the sale.
Okay.
Does the $38 million that's shown under the remaining availability of restricted funds, how are those funds restricted?
They're restricted in the sense that they have a specific designation in the bond proposition language. So there are still projects to be completed to meet the proposition language. And that's just to clarify to any of our readers, they're not available for general or non-specific use.
Okay. But there are continuing projects that have not been completed or maybe even started yet.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
That will come out of that $38 million.
Yes, sir.
So outstanding, how many total projects, not dollars, do we have outstanding?
What we're working through is to provide more detailed information. For this meeting, we added the classrooms and the gym information that we had talked about last meeting. We'll continue to expand those details. There's several components of the proposition, and we know that's of interest to the members, and we will bring more back next month. We actually hired a new staff member to start pulling this together in a more timely manner for your information. So I don't have those details, but that is very specifically what we are working on to provide to you at future meetings.
Let me remind the board here that the work that the Maps for Kids Trust and the MAPS office was doing as far as the 07 bond was the gyms and classrooms, mostly gyms. There was a few classrooms in there. We've completed a significant number of gyms. Right now, I believe the number of gyms under construction is 5, and we've got 4 that are what we would call substantially complete, ready to be finalized. So we are very close to being finished with what we were tasked as far as the 2007 bond issue.
When you finish, how much of that 38 million will be left?
I think that's what she's talking about, trying to pull together.
We do have a schedule here for the gyms on page 3 of 6, and we are seeing that there were supplemental costs added from the original proposition language, and that funding did come from the other category. I think we should be able to have more details on what remains in the non-specified proposition language for our next meeting. But all gyms, as Mr. Todd stated, have been either started or completed.
And I think part of the difficulty with putting those numbers together from the district standpoint is that the gyms started off as gyms and they were turned into safe rooms, so there's been additional funds that had been allocated. So I would guess that's part of the difficulty.
And just for my knowledge, anytime we reference Maps for Kids from the 2007, that's the same thing as Yes for Kids, right?
So Maps for Kids is generally looked at as the 2001 authorization. Yes for Kids is our lingo for the 2007 authorization. And then the 2016 we call the yellow bond, or Yes the Yellow.
There's some
We're trying to
subtlety in here.
reference
Let
this
me
one.
help you with this. When Maps for Kids was done, there was also a bond issue that was approved, and that was done in conjunction with Maps for Kids. And I think that's what she's referring to as the 01. The 07 was an additional bond that the Maps office was tasked with helping do the gymnasiums and some of the additional classrooms. So that's, I don't want to make sure we're not getting all that stirred up and mixed up.
I'm just trying to get it straight for myself, because I'm looking at these terms and then I'm hearing one thing from the city and then I see something different from the school, and so I just want to keep it straight in my head.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Does anybody have any further questions? So at this point, we could expect an updated, as far as progress goes, of outstanding projects at the next meeting, a little bit more complete
Yes,
picture.
we want to expand each meeting as quickly as possible to give more detailed information.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it. Okay. Item number 4 is to recommend Independent School District number 89 approve change order. Number 5, I-89 2007 School Bond Issue Project S7-0010B, the gymnasiums at Quail Creek and Stanley Hupfield Academy at Western Village Elementary School for an increase of $8,477.
So this is the gymnasiums we were just talking about that the Maps for Kids Trust was also tasked with overseeing, and now this group is, with the 07 bond issue money. And as you can see, the items here, item 1 is light shield because of a neighbor's complaint as far as lights shining on them. We've come up with a shield that will help with that issue. There was a cable distribution cabinet that was inadvertently left out of the contracts. And then the fire panel upsize, the capacity at the school was not large enough, so we had to revise that.
Move approval.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I need to switch you back. Motion passes. Item number 5, recommend Independent School District number 89 approve grease trap replacement at Adams Elementary School utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $13,000.
As the item says, it's at Adams Elementary. This is one of the not-so-glamorous projects that has to be done, and that is a replacement of an old grease trap.
Move approval.
Have a motion to approve from Raul. What was that? Oh, no, it's Pete. Motion to approve from Pete, second from Raul. Please vote. Motion passes. Item number 6, recommend Independent School District number 89 approve grease trap replacement at Prairie Queen Elementary School, utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $21,000. Why is it $21,000 and 13,000 at Adams?
That's exactly the question I asked staff. And the reason why is that they're all different. Some of them are in concrete areas, some of them are not. Some of them are larger than others. Some of them include some of the piping that must be replaced also with that. So it's just different situation.
Okay.
Is the 2016 bond is this part of what it was expected to do? And that is just regular maintenance?
That's what I understand, yes, sir. It is a combination of capital repair projects like this, and then you'll see later in the agenda, there's complete roof replacements, very much larger projects.
Well, it's very similar to the 07 bond as well. I mean, a lot of that was allocated for specific jobs as well, but yet some held off for maintenance.
Can I get a motion to approve item number 6?
Motion. Second.
Please vote. Motion passes. Item number 7, recommend Independent School District number 89 approve light fixture replacement at Green Pastures Elementary School utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $7,500.
So in an effort to improve the conditions in the school where the corridors are very dim and outdated and also become more energy conscious, this is a replacement with LED lighting in the school.
Move approval.
Second.
Please vote. Motion passes. Item number 8, recommend Independent School District number 89 approve lighting replacement at Star Spencer High School utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $48,900.
If you'll see in the item description that there's some lighting that needs to be replaced, but parts are no longer available for some of these lights because of their age, so replacement of the entire fixtures with LED fixtures will accommodate some energy savings and brighten up the area and fix the lights that are not functioning.
Move approval.
Motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes. Item number 9, approve conduit replacement at Heronville Elementary School utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $45,000.
So up on the roof, the rooftop units obviously have electricity going to them and various wires, and those get damaged, various things, weather-related, age. The sun works on the PVC and makes it brittle and breaks. So this is to replace those conduits and the wiring for those rooftop units.
When was the roof redone? Do we know that on Fairview?
We're on Heronville, right?
That is a question I do not know.
The roof is in good shape. That's what we're trying to do, is make sure, like you see on the list later, we have additional roof replacements. We're trying to make sure we don't get the cart front doors, make sure the roofs are in good sound shape. So we can do something later on the project.
Was the roof replaced with the Maps for Kids renovation?
Probably half during the map renovation, half on another project that was done.
So 8 years ago?
Yeah, that would probably be, yeah, on the one part, so the other maybe 10, so relatively in lifetime of roofs.
I can get you exact dates, but I'm just, roughly estimating, because I know that was finished right about mid-2010 or 2011, somewhere in that ballpark.
Well, my question on this, on a $48,000 bill coming, shouldn't that have been done at the time of the new roof?
I think this is damage that has been since that replacement. Yeah, you would expect that all the penetrations would be dealt with and all that, yeah. Gary, do you have any other information on this? I'm sorry, I'm a little short on info on this.
No, I mean, a lot of you'll see more of this that we bring up
during the SPAB 2016 bond issues, of some electrical issues on the roofs. A lot of this stuff, and again, as you said, on the maps, projects we did, there was a set budget to do a certain amount of things, okay? So they were able to do some things here, some of them might not have been pulled off. It wasn't a full remodel of the existing building. We added on to the building. So all that stuff's new, but the existing building, there were some things they were able to do, some not. So like on this one here, they have what we call a Hoffman box. It's about a 16 by 16 box up there. Back originally when they did the 93 bond, when they added air conditioning to the buildings, they ran this electrical and these 2-inch conduits up to these boxes. So, and you weren't aware of that part of it here. Sorry, I didn't inform you on that. But so a lot of this is outdated, past code issues, so we're going to bring it up to date. But again, as I said, if the roof is in need of repair or replacement, we're going to make sure we bring it in on some of these roof replacement projects first, then we'll bring in doing the electrical replacement. Herrinville's roof is in good shape, so that's why we're moving on this one here, doing one of the first projects on it, as far as electrical goes.
So just to be clear, there is no need to replace the roof at Herrinville right now?
Correct. It's
And
sound.
it's good?
Yes.
And what are the other outstanding projects at Herrinville that were, is this the only major one that we had for this bond?
For this issue right here, and we're going to be, again, monthly as we come through, we have our different trades, and we're working through with the principals of what their needs are, what we know our needs are through their different trades, electrical, plumbing, and mechanical. We'll be bringing multiple projects to you, but again, we're going to try to make sure that we don't do anything, as I said, we'll go cart in front of the horse, and do a electrical project on a roof, and then come back and want to replace that roof. So that's why we got 3 other roofing projects. We're going to have multiple roofing projects we're going to bring in front of you guys, stage them out in timelines of getting them done. So we know this roof's in good shape, so now we're going to move on with electrical. The electrical's not.
I think the real question is whether or not it would have been more, whether it would have been cheaper to have done it all at one time as opposed to doing it in part like this. It sounds to me like it might not have been. There are different aspects of it, but I think that's the point of, if I'm not wrong, I think that's kind of what you're driving at, is does it make sense to do it all at one time as opposed to do it in pieces?
Well, and I know, that's correct, Steve, but to let history lead the future, if you've done that in the past, my goal is not to spend another $48,000 presently, and if you're going to piece it together, what you just said, piece it together down the road, let's look at not piecing it together for the future.
No, I agree. We are looking at projects right now. We just walked some of the projects, and that's what I told them. I says, we want to be this all-inclusive when we come in and do it. Let's look at that roof. We're going to do a roof replacement. If the roof's sound, then we're going to look at the electrical issues that need to be done, and we'll do electrical upgrades as needed. But if it needs a roof, we're going to do the roofing, the electrical, and if there's any gas piping issue, we'll do that all as in one project. But we can't go back in history of what happened in Herrinville 8 years ago, of the roof that was done then, why the electrical wasn't done. We're just here to move forward on getting the electrical updated now.
No, the goal is not to go back in history, but the goal is to let history lead us to the future.
True, I agree.
That was my point. Thanks, Pete, for all that.
I move approval.
Any discussion? If we could vote, please. Motion passes. Item number 10 on the agenda, approve roof replacement at Cleveland Elementary School utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $262,795.92.
This is a roof replacement, and this is a contract that the district has in place that was bid on with unit costs, and they can pick the unit cost that they need depending upon the project. So it was bid, but not specifically as that project. It was bid as a contract for roofing, if that is a good enough explanation.
And this is the old roof of the existing building. There was a MAPS renovation of a new building added onto it. And this site here, the part of the building that we're doing the roof on is a boiler chiller site, and so there's no rooftop units in that area right there. So that's where we won't have to constitute a large electrical replacement there.
If you look in your packet, a couple of sheets after the memo, you'll see all the different items that are on there. That is basically a grocery list, if you will, of things such as roof deck insulation, fiberboard, 4x4 sheets, half-inch thick, and then they add how many square feet they need, and because they have a unit cost on that. And those unit costs were bid.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, call for a vote. Motion passes. Item number 11 on the agenda, approve roof replacement at Kaiser Elementary School utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds, not to exceed $537,626.20.
Same situation with the contract. The roof is over 30 years old.
I move approval.
Call for a vote. Motion passes. Item number 12, recommend approve roof replacement at Westwood Elementary School utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $310,085.60. I think I just have a question in just the pricing differences of each. Is it just there's additional square footage at each of these schools?
Different sizes of schools, and sometimes there's different items that might be pulled off the list. But I would guess that the main thing is just different size.
Mainly square footages. I mean, Kaiser's quite a bit of square footage. Westwood was at one time, part of the roof was done, and now we're doing the rest of the roof that wasn't done at the time that one was done. And this one did not go through any type of MAPS renovation. Westwood was not, so.
So on Cleveland, we did part of the roof before?
Again, the add-on was a new building, so that roof was a brand-new building built in about 2010, give or take, in that 11, and now we're replacing the roof that was on the existing building.
I assume that we go through all the insurance possibilities before we use funding.
Say that again, I'm sorry?
I assume that we apply for any insurance money.
Yes. I mean, of course, we, at different times, the last good storms we really had was in 12 and 13. 12, I think, hit the north side, 13 the south side, if I remember correctly. And we went through a lot of different insurance funds on different sites. Of course, a lot of times those come through, they come in through like a hail path, and so, but yes, we have.
Speaking of, when are you planning on doing these new roofs?
We will get them started right away. Of course, what deters us from getting a lot of work done is good old April, when we have our testing and principals come out and beat us. They do not be on our schools making sounds and smells. And so we have to work around their schedule, and it all depends on the type of roof we're doing. Got a kettle out there, where we can place the kettles, what kind of demo we can do. We do a lot of this during the school year because we can't just wait and do it during the 2 months of summer, but we work our schedule along with the principals allowing us to be in their building.
Why can't you do it during the summertime?
During what?
Why can't, I mean, how many roofs we got, how
Well,
come we can't focus on summer?
We just proved Southeast High School, a large area that we're just now starting. We got one at Bodine, that's a pretty large area that we're trying to get scheduled and working in. We've got these three here. We've got to talk through how we're going to get through March and April because of the SBAB meeting and the BOE meeting being backwards in March. So we're going to move through. We're going to come back in March or April. We'll be presenting more projects. So only so many people, so much time in less than a 2-month period from the time school gets out with our calendar and our school starts back up again. So.
But these aren't all going to be under the same roofing contractor, correct?
Well, these will be 2 different roofing contractors.
You've got 2 previous that are already approved.
Yes.
So
And
it's
again,
not-
Go ahead, sir.
It's not that one roofing contractor is going to be overloaded for the 2 months.
There's a lot of square footages on these
What I'm
roofs.
asking is exactly what Mr. Fox said is, what if a hailstorm comes in? Between now and before you get a new roof on, you just save yourself a lot of dollars just by letting insurance.
And if that does happen, if one comes through and we haven't started that project, we're going to go to the insurance company. We're not, until we get started with that work and we complete that work, we're covered by our insurance policies that we have. So if one comes through, even though we've approved one, that don't mean we can't stop it, come back and resubmit to you guys that we're going to bring this money back in the bond authority and use the insurance funds to do the work.
In another life, I worked in Texas, and one of the incentives that we gave the people in Texas, the roofers or contract people, were to do 2 and 3 shifts. And if they finished the project earlier, they had an incentive. Do we ever practice that here?
Not that I know. I mean, sometimes we do a second shift. You can't do it as easy at this time of the year, but you get into where the longer daylight.
Yeah, we're talking about summer.
To where the daylight, we have done some of that where they work into, especially in the summer where it's so hot. They'll work later and we'll string up lights to do it. But like this time of the year too, we're also have the problem if it's too cold, the roofers can't work. So right now, the temperature we've had, the roofers can't start or do any work because it only needs to be 40 degrees and rising to do the work. So
On that same topic, did you guys do, I know you incentivized getting the job done. Were they penalized?
Yes, exactly right.
I think, that's something that we have mentioned before with Oklahoma City Public Schools. That's something our state ought to look at as well.
That
And if we can start it right here,
for every day that they were not complete, they were penalized.
because everybody wants to point the finger.
Yes,
back
sir.
and forth.
It didn't matter if it was storming or not.
Give you guys something extra to work on.
all right.
So move.
Second.
Motion to approve and seconded. For item number 12, call for a vote. Motion passes. Item number 13, approve the purchase of 10 Chevy Suburban vehicles utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $371,840. What do we need these for?
Pretty self-explanatory, but this is for transporting students when a full-size bus is not needed. So let's say the chess team needs to go someplace, or the debate team, 5, 6, I would assume 5 or 6 kids, something like that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Call for a vote. Motion passes. Item number 14, approve wireless access point replacement for Lee and Eugene Field Elementary Schools, utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $141,779.
So the wireless access points are Wi-Fi, which you use to connect to maybe your iPad or your phone to, and this is at 2 different schools. This is to help with their connectivity.
So just further expand the Wi-Fi throughout the building?
Yes, ma'am.
This makes the whole school a hotspot, right? Not just particular places inside the school, but
I believe it's to further extend that, instead of just having the office or the cafeteria or a
Right.
couple of classrooms. Yeah, that's the goal with a lot of these projects.
I move approval.
Some of the, on discussion.
Discussion.
Some of these, correct me if I'm wrong on this, some of the, whenever they were installed, didn't have enough capability to move all the information. So although it might have been covered throughout the whole school, it just didn't have enough.
Yeah, bandwidth. Yeah.
Okay. No, any further discussion? Okay, call for a vote. Motion passes. All right, item number 15, approve building automation control system replacement at Bodine Elementary School, utilizing 2016 school bond issue funds not to exceed $55,146.
This school presently has two different control systems, Johnson and Siemens systems, and this is to replace the Siemens controls with Johnson so that the entire school operates under one control system.
Is it not working right now?
I would assume it's just difficult for them to talk with each other. The Siemens system doesn't talk with the Johnson system that well, and to balance the entire building, it's best that we get them all in one control system.
Move approval.
Any discussion? Vote, please. Motion passes. Item number 16, any comments from the board, staff, or concerned citizens? Okay. All right. Then item number 17, I move for adjournment. Do I have to call for a motion to adjourn?
Yep,
I
so
do.
move.
Okay, I got a first by Justin and a second by Raul. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all. Sorry.
Future, if you get tired of reading all those, I'll read them for you. Just whatever you want to do.
Okay.